Welcome Facebook, welcome YouTube. Today we're going to talk about California mandatory seller disclosures and how to fill them out. Now, in other videos, and if you go to my website at winnerscheck.com, I have a series of videos explaining how and why you should fill them out. I believe even before you talk to a realtor, but if you're going to be a fast seller selling to pros, you want to fill them out ahead of time because by complying with the mandatory seller disclosures required by California, you can take advantage of your disclosures to the fullest extent of the law. And basically what I'm saying, well, I'm not guaranteeing you're not going to get lawsuits. If you disclose everything you know about material defects and someone buys your home, they're not going to be able to come after you for those material defects. So if you say, hey, I'm aware that there's a leak up there and you don't know, let's say you do not know there's mold. I'm aware that there's a leak. It leaked. We painted over it. Now the burden is on the buyer to go ahead and do the testing or do the inspection. And when they don't and they buy the home, then they're stuck. Then they could be stuck later. Let's put it that way. This actually comes up fairly often in my practice. It came up for me when I was selling a home in Florida. The person did the testing, found the mold, didn't buy the house. It turned out the mold probably was just airborne. But it was during that time when the market was crashing. I lost $90,000 by the time the next offer came away. I get calls routinely by sellers who find problems after the fact. If the seller hasn't disclosed it, then the question is, did they know? And they can be subject to all sorts of suits, in my legal opinion. Although it can cost money, so maybe they'll skate. But if they disclosed it, then I think most attorneys would be telling their clients, hey, you were aware of this and you didn't investigate further, you probably would not have a winner here. That's in general. Of course, there's exceptions to every rule. I am a lawyer and have to be straight up. Now, the next biggest thing that people talk to me about when filling out these forms is they're either confused or they're not sure how much or how little to answer. Today, I have software here that I've now tested on a few clients. They all love it. Before I sent it to the clients, I took a quick look at it, but I have not gone through the whole thing. We're going to go through it together today as I experience it with you. We're going to see, I know it actually will, it alleviates a lot of the questions people ask me as an attorney, my clients and realtors' clients when they call me. So I think it's going to allow me to offer this service for people before they have realtors for an incredibly small amount of money, and then offer them the follow-up. If they get stuck or complicated, then they can set up a one-on-one consultation with me. I'm very excited. I don't know that's going to be a case. We're going to figure that out as we go. You're going to have my opinion. And then, you can always go to winnerscheck.com or winnerscheck.net let me just figure out which one. It's winnerscheck.com to probably, as long as I still like the software, for anyone in California, you can set it up with me. So I'll send you the software, and instead of filling it out by hand like my clients had to do for years, or typing it in and signing it, you can save probably 45, 50 minutes is the estimate I have after a few clients so far by using this software. And I believe it's probably going to eliminate a lot of my time. I, in the past, have charged $300 to $400 for a client consult to review the disclosures with them, have them let people ask me the questions, and they go back, fill it out, and then I check it over. Sometimes it's more. I think I'm going to be able to knock that down to, well, we'll see. We'll see. I'll tell you as I go through it. But here it is. Let's get started. That was sent to my email, so I have to put your transaction into my software. Even if you end up working with another agent, I'm willing to do that. Using the account or ask sender to send a new invite. Oh my goodness, I should have clicked on this before we started. I don't have the invite is for a user with undefined. Please log in using the account or ask sender to send a new invite at your login email, John McConnin. No, I wanted it. Okay, well now we're going to go into the back end of this software and see what I can do. Let me, I'll keep talking. So I'm going to go over to the software and see if I can fix it. I'll show you the back end if I'm not going to give away stuff. the best way to do seller disclosures. So let's log in. I'm going to resend them to there. And let's go into the Zoho mail. I use Gmail, as you can probably see. You might not even see that right now because I haven't shared it. I use Gmail normally, but Gmail's been filtering so much stuff. I recently switched over. Well, that's here. Let me take down this right here, and let me pull up. Okay, so I requested the seller's disclosures. Now let's see if I refresh my email. Now, oh, look at that. Now, even this software, you're going to have to search. So if I send this to you, you're probably going to have to search for your property address or something like that, because it didn't go into the main box. I don't know what invite is for user with undefined. This is an issue I'm going to obviously have to overcome right now. Let's go back to transactions. Request. Let me just do this. Maybe I'll just do it into here. I can't be. Okay, so instead of doing the software, which we'll do in the next video, or I'll put the video up at winnerscheck.com, let me go over the 3 things that I think you should consider when why you want to do your disclosures ahead of time. The first reason is that you can save thousands of dollars off a traditional buyer strategy. Many buyers in many states will make an offer on your home. In a multiple offer situation, they'll make the winning offer on your home. And because it's natural, because it's buyer regret, or sometimes because crafty buyers agents, I've seen it happen so many times now. I can almost predict when it's going to happen. Now, I do sometimes predict when it's going to happen. I can't always predict it. But they'll encourage their clients, or their clients will figure out, hey, I really want to buy this home. Now maybe on the inside they feel, I'm about to spend $5,000, $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 too much. So when their inspector comes out to the property, they use that inspection report. Instead of just getting it repaired, they'd say, well, I have all these things wrong with it. Why don't we just work out a cash number? And it's freely about how much they had to go up from their initial offer to be the winning offer. By preparing your disclosures ahead of time and repairing and saying, these are the things we're going to repair, these are the things you aren't going to repair, and you understand this when you're making your offer, you have now eliminated one of the biggest buyer games out there that costs people money frequently. I mean, sometimes it happens. For instance, I had a property where there was a pilot light on a stove. Everyone assumed it wasn't going to be a big part, an expensive part, so the seller agreed to get it repaired. Well, it turned out the parts were on back order or something, so it couldn't be done in the short run. And then the buyer said, well, if my stove, one of the pilot burners on the stove isn't working, I'm going to want to get a new stove. I'm moving into this home. Not a totally unrealistic point, but it was like a $15,000 range. And so, then I got called in for legal opinion about it. And it was a pretty tough case. People had to work it out, like how much was fair, how much wasn't, and it was a seller's market. So eventually the seller said, hey, I'm not interested in offering $15,000. I'm interested in being fair. It's a $150 part. I'll give them $500 for inconvenience. That's it. If they don't like it, I'll sell the home to someone else. And the buyer had to accept that and did. It was, the numbers might be off a little bit, but it was about that. Sometimes legitimate negotiations go on after repairs, but frequently they're part and parcel of a setup. Doing your disclosures ahead of time eliminates that. Another reason to do your disclosures ahead of time is to, especially for people looking to sell home to investors or real estate people or renovators, is that, and this works, the same thing works. When you're selling your home, especially older homes, people are like, there's going to be something wrong. Why are they selling it? There's probably something wrong. Same thing when people are buying a used car, right? There's that trepidation. You're buying headaches, you're buying problems, you're buying expenses, you're buying that other person's issues. And sometimes it's true. So by doing your disclosures ahead of time and creating your list of what you're going to repair and not repair, which may be helped by paying for, not many people do it. I love to do it. You hire that inspector at a time, you show the inspection reports, you make those repairs. It works great when people do it. I know it's not going to happen very often, so I discuss it with people, and almost everyone says no. But the point is, if the person does a room by room, if you're selling and you do go through your home, I say if you want to try to sell for top dollar, you look at your home as the eyes of a buyer, fix those things up that immediately jump out at people and make them think there's something wrong with your home. You need to consider fixing those, depending on your price range, depending on the difference between where you are now and where you could be afterwards. But, those are things to consider. You do your disclosures. You explain these things to people. They're going to have more credibility if they're in a multiple offer contest. It's going to enable them to open their wallets more when they see that you're disclosing the stuff they also see, and maybe a few things they didn't see right away. It really helps change that buyer perspective from fear to opportunity, which is really the point of good marketing, whether you're doing it with your realtor or yourself. Eliminate those buyers' fears, make them want the opportunity. Scarcity is involved, timing, but that's one of them. And then another thing that can really help is, let's say you'd like to turn your first of all, it's my belief you should always work with one of the best realtors in the area for selling your home. The difference between a discount broker and a top broker in terms of commissions, and the Rex model is no different to me than just selling it on your own ahead of time with some advice. So let's knock out Rex because they don't use the MLS. It's viable. It might be part of good sequencing on your sale. But when you're talking about hiring a broker to sell your home, hiring a realtor to sell your home, I think the vast majority of the time, at some point, you want to be on the MLS. Like maybe you give Rex a week. Maybe you give yourself a week to sell your home on your own. But at some point, when you're going with a realtor, you want to use the MLS. Now you're marketing to realtors and their clients, and you're offering 2.5% or 3%. Multi-million dollar homes, it might only be 2%. You're up on the MLS, and people are coming to your home, and you have your disclosures prepared, right? So before you go to the realtor, if you're going to hire, I believe you should hire a top realtor. They will outperform the average realtor. You can see the average stats aren't that impressive. I've done videos on that. Top realtors understand their process. They talk to the buyers. They talk to the agents. They can bring people up over that fair market value and listing price. Most agents, on average, do not. In Southern California, we've got the stats. I've shown it. So an agent comes along and says, "Hey, let's list your home at list price or below. I'll do multiple offer negotiation," and then they still get to like 97 or 98%. It's 97.2 in San Diego. So now you're at fair market value supposedly, and now you're selling your home for 3% under. It doesn't make a lot of sense. That's what the average person did in San Diego from January to January of last year. The average sale, yet more than half the sales, 60, 70% of the homes get multiple offers. So what's going on? Well, that's the difference between great realtors with a lot of experience, who understand the process, who know how to shop offers. That's really the biggest key, is shopping. Once you get that threshold strong offer, you've had the time, you have a process designed to get that, then you shop it and bring the other people up. And you don't fight them over it. You're just like, hey, if you're not going to go there, that's where we are. That's where you got to be. It's the easiest way to have multiple offer negotiations happen. It's learning how to shop that offer properly. Top agents naturally start to do it over time. They discuss it with you. Hey, we've got a great offer now. Do you mind if I share those details with buyers? I'll feel them out. Sometimes I just want them to make an offer so we can get them involved. Other times, I talk to the agent. I understand they're ready to go. They don't want to be messed around. And you tell them where you are. And sometimes that credibility, that explanation makes a huge difference in your final selling price. Far more than the 1% to 1.5% you're going to save with most listing brokers. So the idea is that by doing your disclosures ahead of time, you can then negotiate with your listing agent for one to have, if they're great at multiple offers, they might start you off at a stronger list price. Secondly, if you work with me or some other agents that can refer you to other agents, for instance, if you called me up or you go to my website at winnerscheck.com and you set up a quick strategy session with me, or you can call me on the phone, I'll get an idea of your price range. We'll get an idea of what homes usually offer in your area. And then we'll talk to you about how much of a referral fee we could seek, and then we'll share that referral fee. So we'll turn the best agents in your area, which I highly advise. I mean, everybody does it. When lawyers are giving referrals, when anybody's giving a referral to someone, if they don't know the person, they disclose it. Hey, I don't know these people. They look good on the net. But if they know them, they're giving you referrals to people they know have done great jobs in the past. That's the whole point of a referral. So you don't refer to people that have only sold 3 or 4 homes. If you're really looking out for your client, you refer to people that you've vetted that have sold 20 or 30 homes and are experts. If you're going to a doctor, you don't go to new doctors. If you're hiring lawyers, you do not want to go to court with a new lawyer or go to trial with a new lawyer against a savvy 20-year courtroom attorney unless you know that new lawyer is special. And even then, I can just tell you, if that lawyer had no experience with making objections in the evidence code and knowing that judges look at young people, young lawyers, and go, this person's going to get objections to hearsay rule wrong. This person's if it's a criminal case, they're not going to understand hearsay in preliminary hearings, or they're not going to, that when hearsay applies. And so that first lawyer, one of the things I learned, because I had interned at a district attorney's office, and I did a lot of preliminary hearings. We did a lot of objections. I had a few other courtroom type trial scenarios. And then when I went on my own, I took a job at a place where I was going to get a lot of courtroom time because I loved it. And I learned very quickly that my first objection, even if I knew there were some other ones, if they weren't going to serve my client, if they weren't going to be a big deal, I didn't just make objections for the sake of objections. I learned very quickly, because I was young, that judges want to jump all over me and say, oh, you don't understand the hearsay rule. It's a common thing judges do to new lawyers. I was like, no, I will wait for my first objection to be a really good one. Particularly, the more sophisticated it was, the better. And then if my second one worked, after that, almost all my objections got accepted. Whereas if you jump too soon, they love to beat you down, and it was just so funny. Those are things you learn in real estate too, right? New realtors don't get it. They don't deal with everything well. Experienced ones do. I know this because I've referred them out all over the country for family and friends. I now I mean, what I like to do is I like to talk to the brokers first and say, here's my criteria. This is what my client also needs. Who in your office who's sold 20 or 30 homes at least do you think would be a good fit for my seller? I almost never, I don't think I've ever been, most of the time, yes, we go directly to the agent. But when I've used that process, probably because I knew I had a demanding client, I've had nothing but excellent recommendations from brokers. And then, one of the things who would also like to share a referral fee. And sometimes I have a further conversation with the broker about that. I talk about my business model or why we're sharing the referral fee. And then it's all set up ahead of time, everything's signed, and it's wonderful. But a lot of this comes from, I'm just not calling them up and saying, hey, I want my 30% of your listing fee. It's like, I'm an attorney. I've gone over to the disclosures. I've made sure the clients are prepared to sell. They're serious. They're motivated. They're ready to go. If there were issues, we've already discussed them all. So we're really at that stage, ready to go. Feel free to let me talk to your best agents. I'll do it quickly. I don't like to waste time. My clients don't like to waste time. We're real, and we're prepared. So that's in summary. There's many more, but you want to prepare your disclosures ahead of time for buyers. You want to prepare your disclosure, and you have to make sure your listing agent gets them to ahead of time and knows the offers are conditioned on your disclosures to knock out buyers' fears and tricks and tactics. And also, it's incredibly helpful to work, even if you're selling to Zillow or an iBuyer or a professional buyer who's a realtor. Because I know I've been on both ends of it. They're going in to make offers and they're slushing out saying there's probably $20,000 or $30,000 worth of things I don't know. You can knock that 20 or 30 grand out of the ballpark by making really good disclosures and saying, therefore, you'd like more. I've already disclosed all those things, so you don't have to worry. This is everything I know. Yes, it's possible there'll be some foundation under a floor that I don't know about that you guys will find, and then you can go ahead and negotiate with me again. But this is everything. I've been living here for 20 years. This is everything. Therefore, you can give me more money and not be afraid of it. Super way to develop credibility and make more money, right? So, in the next video, I'm going to have that glitch fixed. We're going to go through that software and do our disclosures. In fact, let me just make this easy. I'm not going to promote this video anywhere. I don't know how to make this easy, but right now go to winnerscheck.com and you'll see the home seller disclosure workshop, home seller disclosure workshop by, let's see today's date. It is Saturday and it is February 22nd. So by Monday afternoon, February 24th, I will have on winnerscheck.com on the front page Home Seller Disclosure Workshop, California Home Seller Disclosure Workshop. I'll eventually probably do it nationally, but I can't talk about some of the important stuff because I'm not licensed in other states as a lawyer and a realtor. So maybe I'll have to bring in other lawyers. But by this afternoon, we'll have a program and I'll know, I haven't gone through it myself, how inexpensive I can make it. I'm hoping it'll be, well, normally I charge $300 or $400 for a consult. This has to be $100, otherwise I'm not going to do it. And I'm going to try to get it even below that. So check it out. And maybe at times I'll run other incentives or I'll increase the value of the offer. So you should always go and check winnerscheck.com if you're wanting to do home seller disclosures. Now, first of all, let me see. This program is going to be designed for people who don't have realtors yet. But if you already have it and it's close to February 22nd, 2020, I'll be still happy to do it with you with that price, just so we can get discussions going and we can have people attending our follow-up consultations, our group coaching sessions on this stuff. And there'll always be an opportunity then to set up a personal one-on-one with me. If I'm concerned as a lawyer, how much is lawyering, how much is the forms, how much is the same as a realtor. I need to slot this into like a realtor, but better information and offer lawyer stuff on top of that. I mean, that's how this funnel is going to work, how I break it down, how it works out, subject to evolution. Thanks. Talk to you later. winnerscheck.com. My name is John McConnin. I'm a real estate attorney and a broker. And I can refer your purchase and sale over the country. And our favorite thing to do is turn great agents into the same price as discount agents by sharing referral fees with you. We can negotiate discounts other ways. Or, plenty of people like, I love my realtor. I don't want to negotiate a discount. So can you just oversee the file? I have flat fee programs like those as well. Thanks. Talk to you later. Bye.